And again, let's try to connect here again. I don't know why it wasn't coming up right. I don't know why it wasn't connecting, but let's see. Hopefully it says live and I'll see everything in the timer. There we go. I think we're connected now. I think it's better. I can't see here, but let's see who we got coming in. And I just lost that, but it's still going. I don't know what's going on. So hopefully you guys can hear me. Is everything okay? Hello, hello. What's going on? I can't see my studio. I don't know what the problem is here, but technical difficulties, great way to come back for it. So what's going on, my PT peeps and my Walking Dead family? We got today, August 11th, 2019, coming at you, and I'm excited to talk about what we got going on today. Is Fear the Walking Dead Returns, Season 5, Episode 9. I got a chance to watch the episode yesterday, and I'll talk a little bit about it. I don't want to give too many spoilers about it, but spoiler warning, obviously, for The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, a little bit of comic stuff, and also spin-off stuff. There's a lot going on for the Walking Dead universe, and I'm excited for it to continue on, and hopefully you guys have checked out the episode. If you haven't, you'll watch it tonight. Also, we have a season 10 special that airs at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time it's on AMC. It's like Talking Dead. It's got Ezekiel, Eugene, and Angela Kang. So it's pretty crazy. So I definitely think that hopefully it'll give us something interesting. So I want to see what is happening here with that. So David says, anyone else have a blank screen and no sound? So is everyone see me, hear me okay? I don't know. It's definitely not working connecting wise, but hopefully everybody can do that. I don't know what the deal is with that, but ultimately tonight is the episode of 509, and the episode is pretty interesting. It's like, I don't know whether you like the show, you love the show, and if it's one of those things where you love it no matter what, you hate it no matter what, it's definitely different. It's one of those shows that the first half of the season is probably going to be drastically different than the second half, and that's okay. Hopefully it's just entertaining nonetheless. I didn't find like it was boring, but it was definitely episode 509 was a different way of shooting the episode with the camcorder vibe, and Althea tapes the vibe of that, and there's a couple cheesy moments, and that's what I come to expect on the show. A couple cheesy moments that are like, oh, okay, come on, right? So we're going to see the group, what they've been doing since 508. There's going to be a connection with Logan. There's going to be a connecting point that's going to set up the rest of the season, and it's interesting. It has my interest. That's just what it's going to be, too. I'm excited to see what happens with that. I'm also excited to see what happens in the special tonight, the season 10 premiere special, preview special, I should say. So I'm excited to see, hopefully, a clip. Angela Kang does give some information. So it's going to be Angela Kang, Kari Payton, who plays Ezekiel, and Josh McDermott, who plays Eugene, there in the studio with Chris Hardwick. That being said, hopefully it's just not boring and they say, well, the Whisperers are here and there's going to be this and there's going to be that and Negan this and what about Carol? And hopefully it's just interesting and entertaining, because it can be boring. They can tell us nothing, or they can hopefully tell us something. And I have faith in Angela Kang to get something out of it. That's 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time tonight, before Fear the Walking Dead episode 509. So Joey the Gator is asking Q&A, what are your thoughts watching a whole hour? A tape? Like, what are we talking about, Joey? What do you mean? I don't know what you mean by that. My thoughts watching a whole hour. I don't know, but hopefully we'll see what happens tonight, building for the future in 509. I have to say, though, Alicia is all over the place, just like the writing of the show is all over the place. It doesn't have a true identity. It doesn't have a true, I don't know, it's just crazy on it, too. So watching a whole hour, what you mean, Joey? I don't know. I mean, hopefully it makes sense. Are you talking about a tape, like they filming a tape, like Althea's tapes for a whole hour? Because that's what it kind of feels like in the episode a little bit too. So hopefully you've checked out the Althea tapes of like Clark and I don't even know the rest of them, but Clark, and some of them were annoying. Like I was just like, no, I'm not watching this. It was dumb. I'm still waiting on the Abraham tape. Hopefully we'll get to see that. If they don't, it's a huge missed opportunity in my opinion. Christian Ista? Christian, yeah. No news about Maggie. Nothing yet. No news about Maggie. We don't know if she's filmed, if she hasn't filmed, if she's going to film, what episode they're on, what they're doing. I know they were at the studio on Friday. I know that they were in Alexandria a couple of days ago. And I know that it just can be a little much for their filming out of order. Filming, maybe I haven't seen Denai Guerrero. I haven't seen any cast or heard anything about the cast being around here too. So I'm excited to see what happens going forward and what episode they're going to be, if it is true, if they're filming out of order, which they probably are. Hopefully you've seen the promo photos that are coming out. Every Thursday we're getting more and more information from Skybound and AMC and The Walking Dead about it's pretty cool because I think they've done really great information for us every Thursday. It's been pretty cool that they talked about, Gamma and Thora Birch, and then Virgil and those two characters. And then they talked about Brandon and Dante, which is great. People who know the comics or you've seen the videos, you know why it could be very interesting if Brandon comes around for the show. Is it going to be remixed for the show? Probably. Some things they'll probably keep. Some of the things they have to change. But is Brandon going to be having a problem with some of the characters? Probably. It just makes sense that there is going to be a problem there as well, because there has to be some problems here. There should be different ways to go about the Whispers. The Whispers should be one of those things where it's like, okay, do we trust them? Do we honor their agreement? Do we break it? Some people probably want to do this. Some people want to do that. Some people want to attack them. Some people want to cower and go away. But the Whispers are a force that they haven't seen before. It's definitely different. All I know is that Eugene knows how to make bullets. If they have the ingredients and the wherewithal to do it, hopefully that does not disappoint and they still do it. I hope it makes sense either way. Rhett Brown Q&A, do you think they will have any more CRM stuff in the back half of season, or is episode 509 it? Well, CRM was in, the first episode 501. And then the Althea episode, I don't know if it was 505 or 506. I forget what it was. But the first half, I don't know. I hope so. But again, I think the first half of Fear is going to be different than the second half. They got to find a location where to live. They got to be somewhere connected with Logan, Alicia, Strand, Daniel. Sherry going to come around? What's going to happen? There's a lot of big different things. They've had some reports that they filmed in a mall, an abandoned mall, so that would be pretty cool. I think every zombie apocalypse should have the mall. I don't know why. I just feel like it's connected with it. There's just something synonymous with it. You want to find something where it's safe, secure. There's a lot of food, shelters. Just you can live there for a while. It would be a kind of cool place to live, and I think a mall is one of those things. Joey the Gator Q&A. You've seen the episode, so you've seen the end of the episode. What are your thoughts watching the tape and seeing the dude at the end watching for a whole hour? Oh, so I guess that's what you mean, Joey. Sorry. Yeah, the episode is definitely them recording and trying to build the case for look, we're actually good people. And you're like, okay, would I sit there? I would probably stay in a place and have some food and water and shelter and secured. And, I would take my time and try to relax and try to just be safe. But it's just one of those things where it's just, I don't know where they're going with it. So we'll see. And I don't want to say too much about the episode because it's definitely one of those things where it's building for the future. And we'll meet some new characters. We're going to meet some new characters this back half of season 5. We'll meet it in this episode too. We're going to meet some new characters for sure. But it's definitely interesting as well. So let's look at this. Look at this great question. Banish Gregan. Don't know why you're releasing a book same time The Walking Dead comic ends. Seems like you're dancing on a grave. This is not the right audience. All right, Banish. Well, if you know anything, my first book came out April 17th, 2017. So it came out over 2 years ago. My first book came out. I've had 10 books since then. They are books. They are novels. They are not comics. It has nothing to do with The Walking Dead. So anybody can make a Walking Dead a zombie apocalypse show or a movie or a connection or a book or something that has nothing to do with The Walking Dead. My whole life does not revolve around The Walking Dead. It revolves around a bunch of other things. And for you to say that my book is the same time to come out is pretty dumb. That's pretty crazy. Dancing on a Grave, I don't know what you're talking about. I love my book series. My book series is very important to me. I have 10 books now in less than 2.5 years. I think that's a great accomplishment. So I don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about there too. So that's crazy. So, yeah, Brian Curtis, the spoiler alert is there because I'm going to talk about it in a little bit. I don't want to go right into the spoilers for it because, I don't know, some people probably want to discuss it. So we'll talk about a couple things, and then I'll talk about the spoilers of the episode too. So the episode was okay. It was all right. I wasn't bored. Some people were saying they were bored about the episode, but I thought it was pretty cool. So, so the Fear the Walking Dead comes back tonight. The Walking Dead is still filming the spin-off stuff. Let's talk about the spin-off stuff filming. So I'm excited about the spin-off series more and more and more too. So I'm excited to see what happens in that series. I was very excited for Fear the Walking Dead, and it just was like, I don't know, hasn't really lived up to things in my opinion. So I'm excited for thank you, Carol. Thank you. Appreciate the love on there too, and on there as well. So Mike, I'm glad you noticed the Duck Commander hat. It is that I got this hat when I saw that he was wearing that hat at one of the conventions, and I bought it cheaply on there too as an homage to him. And let's talk about Andrew Lincoln a little bit too. So hopefully you've seen my videos and you've seen a couple things, and you've seen that they're filming in Hopewell, Virginia, which is interesting because they're filming in Virginia and not Georgia. And they filmed in Georgia, The Walking Dead, and they still film The Walking Dead. Fear the Walking Dead has been in California and different places, and now they're in Texas. The Walking Dead spinoff, the third one, which is Walking Dead 3, I don't know. I wonder when we're going to actually get the title of it, because it's kind of annoying to not be able to say the title. But either way, Walking Dead number 3 is filming in Hopewell, Virginia, and they've been filming now for about a week. And it's cool because you can see a lot of great pictures because it looks like to be right in a little city, a little town in Hopewell, Virginia. It looks to be a small town feel in the middle of a street. And they roped it off and they did some things there too. And there's a plane in the middle of the road, which is pretty awesome. And it looks great. The plane is there. The rubble's coming up from hitting the street. And I didn't see any cast, but I did see people running for their lives and try to do in there too. So I'm guessing that it's the idea of it being the start of the zombie apocalypse in this location. If it's Virginia, if it's Hopewell, Virginia is where they're filming it, but is it Philadelphia, Pennsylvania? Is it Virginia? Is it somewhere else? We just don't know. So I'm not sure. And it's pretty awesome. Recently, there was a person sitting there in a coffee shop, and the person looks like Rick. I'm assuming he's a cosplayer, a person that dresses up to look like Andrew Lincoln, Rick Grimes. And someone got a picture of him. And I've seen in a bunch of different groups, people are like, whoa, Andrew Lincoln's here? Whoa. Well, it's almost like you should have went up to him and got a picture, because it's just a picture of the person looking down at their phone in cowboy boots, and they got the beard. And I'm sure the person is a cosplayer of Andrew Lincoln and Rick Grimes. But it's not Andrew Lincoln. Andrew Lincoln is not there. And a lot of people are like, whoa, Andrew Lincoln's there? I wonder how he's going to be connected with the show. Well, there's a lot of false information going around then, because that's not true. The word is that Andrew Lincoln and no one from the Walking Dead universe is connected with the spin-off show, especially Andrew Lincoln, who's done he's not connected with the main show anymore. He's got the movies. He's gone from any TV shows like that. He's just filming the movies. So it's like, okay, but there's a lot of people thinking that Andrew Lincoln is going to be seen again, and that's going to have false hope, and it's not going to live up to the hype, because if someone's like, I thought Rick was coming on the show, and you're like, no, that's not happening. Just like a lot of people think Madison is alive, and the actress has said that she's not, and the Talking Dead has said she's not, and the Talking Dead and the showrunners have said that she's not alive, that she died in episode 408. But there's hope for people on there too. And they could bring her back. They could do whatever they wanted, even though she was in memoriam on Talking Dead. I mean, that should be seal your fate. But people are thinking that Madison is still alive. And if they don't address it, or they don't ever bring her back. Well, if they bring her back, then that'll be good for those people. I mean, I don't really need to see Madison ever again, but some people do. And if they don't bring her back, people are like, I thought Madison was coming back. And they're waiting and waiting and waiting, and it's never satisfied. And that's one of the biggest things that annoys me, is that the payoff is not there on Fear the Walking Dead, in my opinion. In my book series, you'll be rewarded if you invest the time and you get to know these characters, and stuff is building up and building up and building up. Some of it's a slow burn, some of it's a quick burn, some of it is satisfied right away, but it builds up, and it should be a satisfying payoff of the story, for sure. So, let's see what you got here. Alan Rodriguez, where is Heath? Well, that's a Scott Gimple question, or question for Scott Gimple, but I think that Heath is in wherever Rick and Jadis went. Hopefully he's there. I would love to see that. That actor is really good, but Heath is a minor character, and I don't think that actor should have played the character of Heath if he couldn't commit to the role, in my opinion, but we'll see. So, good. But Alan Rodriguez, Q&A question. Who do you think will die in Season 5B of Fear the Walking Dead? I don't know. After reading the synopsis, I have hope that John lives. I had just had a feeling that John was going to die. But I have a feeling that John lives, June lives, Morgan lives, Alicia lives, what's his name? Dwight lives. I could see Daniel possibly, because I don't know if he wants to be on the show anymore. I think that Luciana could go anytime. She's just not doing anything for me. I just don't know what the story for her is. I just don't get it. But I just think that it is. But I don't think Alicia dies. I think that, I don't know. I don't really see any of them going, and which is kind of terrible, because maybe Wendell. I don't know. Sarah. I like Sarah. I like Sarah a lot in this episode. I like Daniel in the episode. His connection with, Dwight's pretty funny. I don't know. It's just interesting. I just don't fear like anybody's there. And John's, my favorite, so he's hilarious as usual. Just the way he talks. Like, there's a part in there too when he's talking about money doesn't mean anything anymore, and he's like, yeah, you got all this money. They got caviar and all that stuff. I had caviar before. It tastes like bait to me, because caviar is probably gross, but that's like a ritzy titsy, over the top, extremely wealthy snack or something kind of meal, and that's kind of true. The way John's response was too. Most of us would probably feel that way too. Let me see, Mark. Q&A, Brad, do you think Michonne holding Lucille is in a dream sequence? That's a good question. I think it could possibly be Negan's nightmare, or it could be how Michonne gives Lucille back to Negan to fight the Whisperers, or it's just a dream sequence that is just some person is thinking of it. Maybe it's Negan, maybe it's Michonne, maybe it's Daryl. I don't know. It would probably be either Negan or Michonne. It makes the most sense. But it could be, because they do like to put in stuff in the trailers that is just for the trailer, or a dream sequence that won't be connected to the show too. So pretty interesting. What do you got here, Mason? When does The Walking Dead come out again? October 6th, Eastern Standard Time, 9 o'clock on the East Coast. I'm wondering if it's going to be early, if you're going to be able to see it an hour or two early on Sunday, if not Friday early, because that'd be pretty cool. It's worth it if you get AMC Premiere and you can see it early every Friday, like Fear the Walking Dead. I wonder if that's working out well for them or not, because some people see it early, and I'm sure a lot of people watch it early if they can get their hands on it too, because once it kind of leaks online, it kind of spreads all over the place. So I don't know. Janet, Q&A, Brian, do you think Lydia will survive season 10? Do you think Beta could kill her after Alpha is killed? I think Lydia survives. I think Lydia is the character that'll connect kind of with Daryl and Carol going forward. I think I could see Lydia being the Sophia that Carol never got a chance to have, because Carol lost Sophia when she was younger. Lydia's probably, I don't know, she's supposed to be 16, 17, 18. She's probably late teens on the show, or middle teens. And I could see Carol trying to protect her, and hopefully Carol does get to protect her, because all of Carol's kids don't make it. She was close to Sophia, Sam, Lizzie, Minka, Henry, and they're all gone. And you're like, come on, what are you doing? You know? And I hope Lydia kind of breaks that chain, but that's kind of the MO. As for Beta taking out Lydia, I don't want to see that. I personally don't want to see this huge beastly man, harm or injure or, take out a teenage girl. That would be terrible to see. So I don't think so. He might try to, but then that would be awesome. I just picture it again. You know how we do here, Janet. Our Eric theory that he could have been a Whisper Mask. I still wish that would have happened. That would have been pretty awesome. I see Beta fighting in the war. He sees like Daryl or maybe even Lydia, and he makes a beeline for it. And who steps in the way? Like, boom! Negan with Lucille and hits him. And it's an awesome, epic fight. It needs to be something big where Beta is going after Daryl or somebody, or maybe Aaron or Lydia or something. And who steps in? Negan. How could you not be happy for that and cheer that? I know I would, for sure. Joey the Gator, what are your thoughts on Logan in this episode? I thought he was aggravating. Yeah, Logan, he needs some improvement. The story needs to be better there. It was kind of annoying in the episode. When the last 25 minutes or 20 minutes show of the video, I'll talk about spoilers. I'll talk about why Logan was kind of aggravating and annoying. But yeah, I could see that. There's got to be big improvement on there too. So was the whole episode flashback footage? I don't think so, Boyd. I think it was actually, just, well, that's a good question. The way they shot it was definitely camcorder style. And what we saw of them, I guess it was present day towards the end of the video, of the episode, but it's not all flashback. That's a great question. That's a great point. But again, that's kind of what the show does. Like, it's not clear of what they're doing in a linear pattern too. And that's what bugs me, because when I write my book series, I hope it's clear, concise, obvious. You don't have to read into certain things, except if you're supposed to read into certain things. Well, what is that? Who's that character? How are they connected with this? Hopefully it flows very well and it's connected with things, and the book series shows this, and there's a lot of characters. But hopefully the different characters of the different communities, and who this one is connected with this one and why this is a big deal and why it's not on there too, and it makes sense. It's not really jumping around all over the place on there as well. David O'Donnell, do you think the children are... Oh, man, it just jumped on me. Sorry. Where'd you go? Oh, man. I hate when it does this on there, too. There you go. Do you think the children are just cannon fodder for this season's Fear the Walking Dead character deaths? Could be. I could see that happen, David. That's annoying, and we wasted all this time in the first half of season 5 to be connected with these kids, and we got to save them, we got to do this, and then they get killed off. I could see the writers doing that, and that's the show in a nutshell. In a nutshell, how did I get this nutshell? RJS or Rajesh SFM, what's your favorite character from The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead? Favorite Walking Dead character is Michonne. Favorite Fear the Walking Dead character is a tie between Daniel and John right now. That they're two of my favorite characters for sure. Kevin, who do you think the next villain would be after the Whispers? I don't know. I guess the Commonwealth. I could see that being the end of it, is the Commonwealth. And don't worry, we're going to talk about the Commonwealth Mercer Rock situation. Hopefully you've seen my video about it and why it's pretty ridiculous. I doubt they're going that way. It's all like, any way to bring notoriety to your brand. Good, bad, and indifferent. Hopefully good, not bad, but news about your brand is good. And Fight for Us. Well, Fight for Us is my brand. Hopefully that gets to that point with it. But The Walking Dead is a brand. Fast and Furious is a brand. And, Hobbs and Shaw are just kind of connected with this, and The Rock and Hobbs and Shaw were talking this, and Kirkman came out of nowhere like, let's make it happen. Yes, we can. Say the word. We can do it. Hobbs and Shaw can come into the Walking Dead franchise. Come on down. But how could you do that? Because I'm sure The Rock wants, I don't know how much he gets per movie. $10 million, $15 million, $20 million? How could you hire that person for the Walking Dead franchise if he's going to play Mercer? And Mercer's a smaller character. Mercer's a character, but he's not, anything crazy. But I don't know. Maybe. I think it would be kind of cool, though, if he had a role in the Rick Grimes movies, if they go the way of the Commonwealth, too. So that would be kind of cool. But I don't know if that's going to happen. But if anything, I think that would happen. So hopefully you see my video and you know what we're talking about. Have you seen the pics? Ross Marquand posting pics on vacation in Hawaii. Do you think Aaron dies? Xmas Girl 304. I don't know. I don't think Aaron dies. If Aaron dies, that's a character that I don't think should die. I don't want him to die. I want him to stay on the show, but you don't always get what you want, you know. I don't know what to make of it because maybe they're filming all this stuff out of order and they don't need to film certain things. Maybe they film some action sequences. But what kind of scares me is that Ross shaved his head. Had no different facial hair. He looked drastically different. So I don't know. It's not looking good for Ross, but hopefully he sticks alive. He can. He definitely can. Alan, Q&A question. Do you think Rick's group will ever meet Fear the Walking Dead's group? I don't think so. If they do, it'll be like towards the connect to the movies or towards the very end. But I don't know what the end game for Fear is besides connecting with the movies. I think Fear the Walking Dead's end game is connecting with Rick and the movies. Would be pretty cool too. So, Eddie Pizzle, does Ross still have the same hair and beard? I don't think so. Last time I saw him on Instagram, he had a shaved head. So that's a big difference on there too. So unless he shaved his head to blend in with the whispers and shaved that off to blend in with the whispers, and maybe he does that, but I don't know. That's a great question. We'll have to see. But it's cool. It's a pretty cool thing to have the idea, the rumors, the speculation, the fun stuff, the theories. It's just cool, you know? I'd like to have that as well, being a fun discussion topic on here. And we don't have to be totally spoiled. We don't have to have a problem with, you know, everything to find out all the information. Sorry, someone's causing a problem here too. Yeah, tidal wave. Let's just let me just answer this right here. He says, if I was Kirkman, I'd be livid. You're taking my ideas. I love your channel, but the theft is obvious. You don't know anything about it. Kirkman does not own the zombie apocalypse. He owns The Walking Dead. My franchise, my characters, my thing is connected with my universe, my series, my everything on there too. So if you're going to come in here, if you love the channel, then why are you causing a problem? Why are you doing stuff like that too? So I have nothing but respect, admiration for Kirkman. You probably haven't even read my books. That is the total person that doesn't read any of the books, doesn't read anything. He sees that I have a YouTube channel where I talk about different things. One of them being the Walking Dead. So if I have a zombie apocalypse book series, that's what's going to say that the person's going to think that I have to be doing these things because I love The Walking Dead and I have to be taking information for that. No, he doesn't own the zombie apocalypse. My story takes place in a totally different state with different situations, different characters, different things altogether. So if anybody who has read the books knows that they're drastically different. Like, it's just annoying when that's the type of person that never reads anything of it, but just sees like, oh, he has zombie books and he likes The Walking Dead, which is a zombie show. There has to be that. No, there's far from it. I have nothing but respect for that. And I would never take anything from another person or that. I would never do that because that's disrespectful, rude, and inconsiderate, and also theft. That's terrible for that situation, and I'm an honorable person for that. I would never do anything in that situation. But, you know. Do you think Madison is writing the sentences on trees? That's the big question. I don't know if it's Madison. I don't know how she could write it. If she's gone, doesn't make sense. But my question is it Sherry? That would be pretty awesome. If she was alive, it could be Madison for sure. It makes sense because she's kind of saying quotes that are saying that. But they talk about it in the episode. We'll cover that too. So Marsha, Ross Marquand, if he plays Aaron on The Walking Dead, that's Ross. Ross Marquand plays Aaron on The Walking Dead. So, thank you, Don. I appreciate it on there too. But Kevin, would you want to make your books into a show, Brian? Of course, I would love to. I would love to make my book series into a Amazon Prime show. 8 episodes or whatever. I would love to make it into a streaming service show. I don't know if it would be good movies. because it's a lot of content and you'd have to, cut it down. But I think a show would be the best. Also, I think that my book series would be an awesome video game series as well. So it'd be pretty great if it was a TV show and also a video game series. It'd be pretty cool. I just picture this world of like downtown Tampa, which if you've never been there, I went to school there at the University of Tampa, which is located right down there. And it's pretty awesome for the idea of a zombie apocalypse, the city. And I just picture it like an open world zombie apocalypse game where you have friends that can help you. You have to get supplies. You got to get armor, power-ups, different suits, different things, different abilities. It would be pretty great. And also, if you read the book series, you know about the place called World of Trade. And I just see that as a market that you can trade things and do stuff like that. It'd be pretty great if that was happening. And I just picture that in one of my writings sometimes as well. Because I love, Resident Evil. Days Gone is a fun game. It has some glitches, but it's very fun. And, there's all the stuff that there in the zombie apocalypse open world that I don't think has really been there, except for Days Gone, just started that whole process. But I've always had the idea of turning that, and why not my own book series and material for that too? Could have Ryan being the main character, be pretty cool too. So, Brian, you want I read Dead Sea? That was a dope book with the living dead and even dead animals. I have not read that, but I'm not really into the dead animals, idea of it, and I just don't really think some of those things are pretty cool. And again, the zombie apocalypse as a whole is the zombie apocalypse. It's not like I have characters named the same characters in the Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead franchise. There's just no way that, of course, there's going to be possibly an Eric and an Eric. This character and this character, but I have some different aspects that are drastically different in there as well. And it's supposed to be different because it's a totally different universe. My book series is set in the future. I don't know when The Walking Dead is actually taking place in the comics and all that stuff of the year, but it's totally different for sure. Deb asks Q&A, if Michonne's character will be open-ended and if she leaves Judith and RJ behind, who do you think she will entrust the kids to? Well, I could see Aaron, because of Gracie. Carol, probably Carol, because she is like a motherly figure and Michonne knows her and trusts her. I don't really say like Negan per se, but I think Negan would watch over them. He wouldn't be like, they wouldn't be staying with Negan in the jail cell. But I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe you get to meet some other character that's a motherly type figure or a father type figure. But I don't know. That's the big question, is what's going to happen with Judith and RJ when, in my opinion, if Michonne leaves to go find Rick. I don't know. But it's good to see what's-her-face, Cindy, in the picture back. Oceanside will be a big factor this season, and I'm excited for sure. Yeah, Kevin, I do not like Black Summer. I've seen Black Summer on Netflix. I watched the first episode and couldn't watch it anymore. Just the writing is not my type of thing. It's kind of the opposite of what my writing would type of be, and I just can't do it. I can't do the fast zombies that are kind of crazy and the way that one lady runs around and I just can't do it. It's just annoying to me. It's just an annoying thing to watch. Xmas Girl, can we talk the new character Brandon for a minute? Do you think it's him that Daryl is hitting in trailer? Brandon's blood on Negan. That's a great question. Xmas Girl, let's talk about Brandon for a little bit. So Brandon is in the comic book. He is the son of Tammy Rose and Morton Rose in the comic. On the show, he could be the son of Tammy, but where has he been since season 9? I know Eddie and a couple people have asked the question, and it's a great question. I actually made a video today about it that I'll have probably coming out tomorrow where I talk about Brandon a little more in depth. But Brandon is a character that I could see Daryl beating up. He could be the guy doing the tagging up of Silence the Whispers. He could let Negan out of Alexandria and take him to the Whisperer border. He could do a lot of things, and I could see that happening. And you could change Rick for Daryl, because it's Rick in the comic. It could be Daryl versus Alpha, and it could be the person that beats up. I could see Brandon attacking Lydia. Daryl steps in, beats up Brandon. Brandon's like, this ain't gonna work. I need Alpha to take out Daryl, or them to take each other out, and he could try to use Negan for his ploy. Brandon could definitely be that whole factor, and I agree wholeheartedly if it's going to happen that way for sure. So Pete Thompson, 1979. Do you think we will get a little cat fight with Carol and Michonne? Looks like the king is getting some loving on the side. Well, again, Pete Thompson, that King Ezekiel is not with Carol. Carol broke it off, so King Ezekiel can do whatever they want. And there's going to be a time jump of probably a couple months, so maybe 4 or 5 months since the last time we saw that Carol and Ezekiel broke up. So if they have been together for 4 or 5 months, I guess Ezekiel and Michonne can get together, you know? So it's pretty interesting for to see what happens. But I still think Ezekiel gets killed off, because if Ezekiel and Michonne are together, maybe they are, maybe they aren't, and Rick, they find out that Rick's alive, but Ezekiel's with Michonne now. Michonne's going to drop Ezekiel like a bad habit? Maybe, but we don't know. And if Ezekiel's not there, you don't have to worry about that too. So do you think that Logan will end up joining the group eventually? I don't think so, Boyd. I'll talk about Logan in a second, but I don't think Logan becomes a buddy with the group, and I don't trust that guy for sure. Kang Aerodero Q&A, what happened to season 10 spoilers? Last year there were many spoilers at this time. Well, you can't equate every season with there's a lot of spoilers. Where are the spoilers? Spoilers! You can't equate that every season. You have to get what you get and like what you like and appreciate what you find. So when they go to the studio, you don't find much, and maybe they're doing a better job hiding the spoilers or not, but it'll come out. The spoilers will be out, that's for sure. Once we get them, we will always share them with you. So let's talk about some spoilers for Fear the Walking Dead, Season 5, Episode 9. For sure, let's talk about too. So let's talk about 509. So we're going to see the whole video camera thing with Althea talking to John and Morgan and Sarah and June and Grace and all these people kind of on the video camera. And it's kind of cool, but it's like this is the way they're going about it. It's just a little off-putting at times. I'm excited to see what happens with the rest of the season, but they should have taken out Logan. Logan was with them. There's going to be some time jump since episode 508. And Sarah talks about it in a joking manner that Sarah had they had Logan, and they left Logan by the wayside. They left him in the middle of nowhere. But Logan is still alive. At the end of the episode, we see Logan limping around, and he's walking, and he's mad, and he's pissed off, and he gets to his group again. And so he's made amends with his group. They're using each other, whether it's a partnership or they do that, and they go to it's a gas station, convenience store type of thing at the end of the episode. And you watch it, and it's this guy watching a videotape, I guess the entire time, because they're recording stuff, but do you have software to like edit it? Are you really cutting it down, or they're just recording there too, so it's a hodgepodge of video, so this person's like, okay, I can buy into this. So are you really selling yourself that you have to make recordings to have people buy into your safety? Do you really need that? Because the fact is like if people come around and they don't want to work with me and they don't want to work with us, see you later. I got enough problems. We got enough problems to worry about. If people aren't buying into it, what's going to happen with that, right? So the guy at the end is a guy watching the video. He steals the gas. He puts it in his motorcycle with a sidecar, and I have to say that he looks like Heath, but it's not Heath. He's got that dreadlock vibe, and he just looks like Heath without the glasses. Like he could be like related to him. I'm not saying he is. He probably isn't. It's just a casting choice that I find interesting. But Logan comes back there with his group, limping around, annoying, and he's still alive. And they like take the gas, they take some things, they take his stuff, and then they shoot up the motorcycle. Like a lot of bullets. They shoot the tire, they shoot the tire, she shoots the tire, and then it's like it's like a million bullets they fire out of their automatic weapons. Of course, it's exaggerated, but it's a lot of bullets. And they're like, we got more bullets than we know what to do with. Great. Then you should be taking walkers out left and right. It's like you wasted a bullets to shoot up a motorcycle. And then they give him the radio, and he's like, yeah, call your friends. And so it's setting up this guy reaching Morgan's group and Alicia's group. And it's like, okay, cool. And that's where it's going. Alicia is definitely a different character again. up and down and up and down and this and that and this. And she's all about taking walkers out and this. And now she's like, I can't take a walker out. And she's learning the bow staff skills with Morgan. And it's pretty cool. But she's like afraid to kill walkers again. Again, it's the Morgan ideology. I'm going to take every walkers out. Walkers are a threat. I'm going to kill every walker imaginable. And then the whole radioactive thing, which she's probably fine. She's alive. She's definitely good. And there's been months have gone by. So I would assume she's okay. And she's like, I can't kill any now. So again, she's all about taking walkers out. And now she's about not killing walkers. So here at the tree, right? She comes across this tree. And it says, if you're reading this, you're still alive. And that's kind of a Morgan or a Madison quote. So if it's a Madison thing, it's like, cool. Is Madison still alive? I kind of feel it's connected with Sherry. I don't know why. I just feel like that would be the way they connect Sherry. And maybe Sherry is connected with a group that knew Madison or something there too. So Alicia is reading this. This walker comes out of nowhere and she doesn't want to put it down. Strand comes and kills the walker. It turns out to be the walker that's really important for this lady and her son who are connected with this house that the group goes to. Morgan, Luciana, John, Althea, and then eventually Strand and I think June. And they're there to save this woman and help this woman. But this guy, Tess, exactly, Joe, you got it. You saw the episode then if you know Tess is Tess. And it's like, it's cool. So it's cool because I don't know if it's going to happen with the future of it. But I'm like, okay, so Morgan, there's landmines all around the house. Sorry, I'm jumping around. I'm just trying to moderate the thing. But it's kind of like jumping around a little bit. And then Morgan goes there, and the landmines are around the house. I don't know how many landmines there are, but it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool to see the landmines, but I don't know how they build it all up. And the fences are breaking down, of course, and John's taking out walkers here, and they got a rifle, then they have this. But at the same time, they're recording. They're like, we got to record this. We got to record this. We need to show people this. Great. If you need to show people that you're capable of protecting them, then these people aren't worth your time. Like, okay, if you have trust is earned, actions speak louder than words, and video on there too. So seeing it getting done is kind of interesting. So then Morgan steps on a landmine and it's a pressure sensitive device, but it doesn't go off unless you lift your foot off of it. So the whole time they're trying to like scoop out the dirt and dig this up on there too. And you're like, okay, I know where this is going. And they should have just let the walkers blow up all the landmines and walk there or throw stuff over, and so they know the path that they could actually go, right? But instead, Morgan's got to chase this one walker that's getting closer to the house. They probably can't get into the house, by the way, because it's all boarded up. But then Morgan steps on the thing, and Althea, who kind of knows all about this landmine stuff, evidently. Oh, yeah, you got to unscrew that, but that could set off the fuse, and that could do this. And then this lady finally comes out, because it's a big deal that she hasn't come out over 2 years. And she hands Morgan the metal thing that deactivates the landmine, does it. Morgan gets off, they step away, and then we all know, boom, the landmine's going to go off. It does. Then the whole group comes together. They're, chilling over a campfire, and they got food and they got supplies, and it's really good. But they need a location. They need somewhere safe to live. They need somewhere to be, which they do. They need to find a great location. The baseball stadium was really awesome, but this show, Fear the Walking Dead, we're coming up on 5 seasons, right? And it's been California, on a boat, the Abigail, in Mexico on a plantation, in Mexico at a different with Luciana's people. Then they went to Texas at the baseball. It's like, the ranch. I forgot the ranch. Then they left and then went to eventually the baseball stadium to leave there to get on the road to get around. And you're like, man, it's just crazy that they're so all over the place. I'm crazy to think that. Imagine if The Walking Dead was like that, right? Imagine if we haven't had a community. Like they lost Alexandria and they had to go find another one. Then they found the kingdom. And that fell. They got to get another one. They go to Oceanside. That fell. They got to go to another one. Hilltop. That fell. Got to go to another one. It's like, that's what the show is. It's just kind of crazy that it's all over the place. So I'm like, man. So you don't see Wendell at all in the episode, which kind of annoys me because like I want to see all the characters. Sarah was really hilarious. Daniel was really funny, especially when he's talking about Skidmark, and especially when he's talking about Dwight. When he's like, he won't let me cut his hair. It's like it's pretty funny. June's good. John's hilarious. Luciana is just like, what are you doing here? You're gonna be camera lady now? Like, it's just, I don't know. And I do agree with everybody talking about the kids. You don't see them at all. The kids are like, man, the kids are just one of those things that build it up. It's just annoying. Maybe it comes back in the next episodes. But yeah, the trucker music was pretty funny, especially Sarah, because she's always like, convoy. Like, she's just hilarious. Like, she just plays that part really well, and I buy into her character. It's just crazy. So Boyd, I'm not trying to hate on you by any means, but why do you like Luciana? I mean, she's attractive. She's very pretty. She's beautiful, but I just don't know her significance in the story anymore. Like, I just don't know what she's going to bring the story. You have Althea, the camera lady, which is definitely a big part of the camera, the videos, the storage, rebuilding the world, and so people can see the videos to see the world what it was. Morgan, you know, he's an important character. Alicia, she's really one of the only characters from the original season besides Daniel and Strand, which they're not going anywhere. Strand brings a certain attitude and education to the show. Daniel's great. I think Daniel's awesome. John's great. He's the sharpshooter type of thing, connection there too. You know, Dwight's not going anywhere because Dwight's going to find Sherry, hopefully. Charlie, kind of filler. Not really, not sure know why she's there. So I don't know why Charlie and Luciana are there, to be honest. Grace, connecting point going forward. I see her getting sick because she talks about every day she wakes up and she's afraid that she's going to, you know, this is going to be the day because she's probably got, you know, she's probably, I would say, contaminated or infected or whatever you want to call it from, you know, the radiation. So Grace is probably a character. I agree with Joey. Grace is probably, I don't think she dies next week, but I think Grace is taken out this season. I think she gets sick. And if that's really the only death, that's a pretty weak season because we haven't lost anybody. We've gained characters. Probably Logan gets killed off. I could see that. Some of the new characters, because there's a lot of smaller characters. We're going to meet a couple more characters for sure. So I don't know what's going to happen with the rest of the season besides a couple things, but it's interesting for sure. So tonight is the Season 10 preview special. That's on 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on AMC. And then you have the episode at 9. And then you have another Talking Dead. I'm guessing there's codes for the preview special, the TWD rewards. Hopefully you get TWD rewards on the preview special. Also the episode for Fear. Probably the Talking Dead. I wonder if we're going to get Talking Dead the rest of the season now, because is Chris Hardwick able to record the episode or film the episode for it? Because I hope so, because I like Chris Hardwick. I like this story. I like what they do as well. And I feel like I have the, on my Instagram, I believe it's Luciana, Grace, and one of the showrunners on Talking Dead for the episode. I don't know, too. So, Xmas Girl 304, she wrote, fun fact, radiation poisoning is equal to approximately 18,000 chest x-rays done at once. That sounds terrible. I don't really want any of that. That's got to be a terrible way to go, too. So, our Paras 34 Q&A, what's the significance in all of the planes in all the shows? I think it's just an easy way to have writing that an airplane was in the sky. There's a story behind it. It's some connecting point that they're trying to get to somewhere safe. It goes down. They can go get some supplies. I do like the idea of having a crashed plane site in the zombie apocalypse because it makes sense. I think that that plane is pretty destroyed in the new episode. In the new spinoff, I should say. There's like the front cockpit area of the plane. The back is kind of intact, but the plane is like in sections and it's kind of like destroyed. Like it's kind of cut on purpose. Like it's kind of, I don't know if that would happen. It might have just broken half or when it came down, but it looks like the plane landed. Somewhat they tried to save it, but I wonder if any of the people that are in the show, like Hope and Felix, let's talk about Felix in a second, but are from that plane, or if they were from that area, or if they survived somehow. That would be kind of interesting because it's kind of cool to think about it. I don't know if they could, but I just think the plane is easy writing. It's just something doing there too. So, Xmas Girl, I'm not caught. I haven't watched the last one. Althea's tapes. I didn't watch the last ones. Was Samora. I think Eddie Pizzle said it was a good video, but I haven't seen it. I didn't watch that one yet, but I believe that's the last one for it. Lincoln, what's the biggest flaw you want taken out of both shows and used in the new one? The whole idea of zombies sneaking up on you. Zombies are slow. They make noise. They fall down. They're uncoordinated. I don't want to see them sneaking up on people and getting people killed off. I don't want like just cheesy bits and cheesy storylines. I just don't want to see. I just don't want to see anything like that. The story can be what they are, and the characters can be what they are. There's some, I just don't know. So, let's talk about Felix for a second. The Walking Dead spinoff has a new character. They're saying a lead character, so I don't know. His name is Nico Tortorella, and he is Felix on the Walking Dead show. Felix sounds like a cat, or Fix-It Felix from Wreck-It Ralph, in my opinion. I don't know if Felix is a name for a lead character. Hopefully he's a lead character, one of the leads, but I do like Hope. I feel like Hope is a good name for a character, a lead character. I like Hope. I like Rick Grimes, of course. I think that's a great name. I don't know. Madison, Nick, I don't know. It's just one of those things where who was the actual lead of that show? It just really wasn't acknowledged and really defined in my opinion. But I don't know. It's kind of interesting too. So Rajesh SFM, do you think CRM will ever appear in The Walking Dead or Fear the Walking Dead? I think the biggest thing is connected. Well, technically it already appeared on The Walking Dead, and it just appeared on Fear the Walking Dead, so it's going to be in the movie, so it'll probably be the next. Could do it. Yeah, no, you probably shouldn't have been able to do it, but it's kind of crazy for it to happen, and it shouldn't have been that way too. So, Kang Aradero, you think Connie and Daryl could get the